What's up, gang? Welcome back to the YouTube. Today is something completely different. You guys have never seen one of the more somber sides of me because I don't often put that out on social media. But this week has been one of the most emotionally intensive weeks of my life. At around 11:30 a.m. On Saturday, March 1st, Larry passed away. Larry Gonzalez. He was one of my best friends, an absolute brother to me. And this video is going to be a tribute to him and how great our friendship was and just how amazing he was of a person. Larry was the kind of guy that when you would walk into a room, you'd immediately feel his presence. He was so full of love and full of life that his personality would literally fill the room of wherever we were at. I met Larry through Dylan O'Brien, as Dylan was my first ever friend from the social media industry. I was hanging out at Dylan's house. We were lifting. He says, "I'm going to invite one of my friends over. His name's Larry. I think you're going to love him." I was like, sure, yeah, why not? And then Larry gets there, and it took a second for my brain to click that it was Larry Gonzalez. Because I had followed Larry as he'd made content for 2 years before I even started. And I was like, dang, I really love your content, bro. And we lifted together, had a great lift. And that I got to see his personality and the way that he would crack jokes. And I just knew from that moment that we were going to be friends. After that lift, we went to Chipotle, and we got our meals paid for by one of the Chipotle workers, which was a cool experience for both of us because that had never happened before. And I just remember sitting there being so fulfilled, meeting somebody that I had looked up to, and he was just treating me like a normal friend, a normal person, because that's the kind of guy that Larry was. It didn't matter who you were or where you grew up, what you were doing with your life, where you were from. Larry wanted to get to know you, and he wanted to get to know you well. He wanted to be able to be a true friend to you and get to know you deeply and individually. I remember from when we were sitting and eating at Chipotle, in the midst of just random conversation about what we were doing, what we were up to, how life looked like and all that, he just looks me dead in the eyes and he goes, "Do you ever feel like you're gonna be somebody someday?" And I was kind of caught off guard. I was like, yeah, I felt like I'm gonna be somebody for a long time now, and that's another reason why I started posting content. And he was like, good, because I feel that way too. I know I'm gonna be somebody, so let's keep at it. And then he just kept eating his Chipotle bowl like nothing. Larry was a beautiful soul. The amount of times that he had me literally hunched over, grabbing my stomach and my lungs for air because he'd make me laugh so fucking hard. He always had so many jokes to bring with him. And if you knew Larry well, you knew that he was the king of movie quotes. And he'd always clown on me for not knowing the movies he was talking about. The one way that I really know how to describe Larry is as my brother. When we think of brothers, we think of people that are so close to us and love us so much that they see the best and the worst of us. And there were times where Larry did see the worst in me. So many times I would call him and just be like, "Hey bro, I really need to talk to somebody about this problem that's going on, and I don't know who else to talk to." And he would just be like, "Yeah bro, give me a call." And we'd call and we'd just talk for hours about whatever problem it was that we were going through. And normally about Monday or Tuesdays every other week or so, I'd give him a call and I'd just be like, "What's up, Lar? How are you, bro? What are you up to? What are you doing?" And he'd just fill me in on all the things that were going on in his life. And we were able to rely on each other and count on each other to be there for each other, which is something that I cherish so much. I'm so blessed to have gotten to be his friend. One of the last times that I ever got to see Larry, he came with me on a Father's Day trip with my dad and one of my dad's friends, and we went golfing in Palm Springs. And I have a picture that I really cherish from that moment. I'm sure Jake will put it on the screen next to me. But I look back at this picture and I just can't help but smile. I was full of so much happiness that day to be with my friend celebrating my dad. And Larry just always felt like part of the family. He always felt like my brother. There were countless weekends where he would sleep on my couch and just come up from Orange County where he lived and just be like, "What's up, T-Spall?" And he'd sleep on my couch. We'd have a week or a weekend full of just bullshit. Get up to the most random fucking thing you can think of. Because I was Larry, and he also enjoyed sitting in silence with you and just being in your presence. Larry was rambunctious, absolute mad lad. There's a video that I'll have playing next to me of Larry ripping the undercarriage out from my car after I had tried to cut it off with a knife for the last like 30 minutes. We're in the parking lot and I'm like really trying to get it off. I'm like, fuck it, just leave it on the car, like I don't even care. And so Larry's like, "No bro, like let me give it one more try." He's talking to, he's like, "Motherfucker, fucking pussy." And he grabs a hold of it and he's like yanking, and then it finally, you just rips the undercarriage out from under the car. And it's like this big piece of plastic from under the car, and he's just like, like absolute insane, bro. Gosh, I have so many stories like that. One time we were in Santa Barbara, me, Larry, and Baj are all out having a great time. We all had a few drinks, and Larry was using one of our friends as a step stool to try and knock a stop sign loose. Like he's trying to knock the stop sign like loose so he can take it home. We're like, Larry, get down, bro. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, "Oh yeah." And he gets down, he comes over to us, he's like, "Where's the party at?" Like just so nonchalant. I'm so blessed by the relationship that I had with him that every time that I would see him, we would make a new positive memory. And now looking back, I don't have a single negative memory to look back on with Larry and be upset about or be upset at him for. Larry always made sure that he knew how much I loved him, and he always made sure to tell me how much he loved me. Last phone call I had with him was planning out the trip that we're gonna have to Houston here in a couple days, because he was supposed to be there with us for that trip, because we used to go to Houston every single year. And we were planning, you know, the tickets and like how we were gonna do it, and you know, Airbnbs and all that. And I remember just talking to him about his marathon and his half marathon and how he's training for it and how he's ready and he's prepared. There's nothing that could have prepared any of us for this. But we were on the phone and we're talking, we're having a great time, you know, shooting jokes, having a good time, like just planning the trip and getting details squared away and getting excited with each other about being together again in Houston. And a couple days later after that, I called him, and that was the last phone call that we had, because I just called him to check in and, you know, talk to him about what we were going to do while we were in Houston, kind of planning something special. Just, we wanted to make sure that we had a memorable time. And the last time that I spoke to him, the last time that I hung up with him, he just said, "All right, man, I love you, T-Spall. I'll see you soon, bro." Because he was supposed to come over on Monday and stay with us Monday, Tuesday, because we leave Wednesday for Houston. Yeah, he just goes, "I love you, T-Spall. Like, I love you, man. I'll see you soon." And I was like, "I love you, Larry, bro. I'm so excited. Like, I can't wait. I'll see you soon." And that was just the kind of guy that Larry was. He would always make sure to tell you how much he loved you and show it to you in the way that he acted, or being there for you, or just having a shoulder to lean on when you really needed one. Larry was also a very good man of character, a very high quality man of character. He demanded the best out of us in everything, and we demanded the best out of him. Larry pushed me and Tommy especially to be our best authentic selves, and he pushed us out of our comfort zone by telling us to open up more and talk more on social media. And specifically with me, he inspired me to not only get out of my comfort zone with posting and really just talk to the camera, but also to make like different types of content and help me with skits, and we would make funny videos. The people that have watched my YouTube for a long time, you guys got to know Larry because of how often he was in my YouTube videos. He must have been in one every other 5 or 6 videos. He was there every time. And he was so passionate about the things that we were passionate about. I think the lesson that I want to tell you guys and teach you guys from what I've been taught through this is that your words matter, and you're never going to think about it until it's too late. I really wish that I had one more talk with Larry to just be able to express to him exactly how much I loved him and tell him how important he was to me and how I'm so grateful for his friendship and how I'm so glad that he came into my life and helped shape me to be a better person. When I met Larry in college, I was in a really bad place mentally, and it was like through his friendship and getting to know him and seeing how devoted he was to being a better man and pushing me to do the same that allowed me to really care about my friends even deeper and really minister to my people and tell my people I love them. So tell your people you love them. Love them deeply. Love them well. And always be inclusive. When you see somebody in the corner of the party not getting talked to, or when you see someone that is purposefully putting themselves to the side because they feel like they don't fit in, go talk to them. Go ask them what their name was. Start conversation. That was one thing Larry was really fucking good at, was starting conversation, keeping conversation alive. And live like Larry, man. Live like Larry. He did not leave a single thing on the table. Not a single thing. He was so spontaneous and full of life and explosive that anytime I'd ask him like, hey Larry, you want to go to Six Flags? He's like, I can't go today, but I would go like, I can probably go Monday or Wednesday. I'm like, dude, I'm not even talking about today. I'm just talking like, do you want to go to Six Flags? He's like, well, hell yeah, bro. And Larry was also the kind of guy that would always tell me, I could die at any moment. I could die today. I could die right now. Let's just go do the thing. Let's just go out to that place. Let's go to those bars. Let's go talk to those girls. Like, let's go have that lift. Let's go eat that cheat meal. Larry lived his life. He lived. Especially being somebody that tends to be anxious, it's so inspiring. It was and still is so inspiring to have those memories to fall back on of how Larry just lived. And he would want me to do the same. I've cried so much over the loss of Larry in the last 72 hours that I almost feel like I'm out of tears to cry. But it's so important and imperative for you guys to cry during those moments that are hard. When you lose people you love. Love is so irreplaceable. And the people that you call yours and they call you theirs are few and far between, and they're hard to come by. Larry was really good at loving people where they were at, and he was somebody that really tried to exemplify the love of Jesus. The only thing that's really gotten me through the last couple of days is knowing that I'll see my brother again on the other side. He was a firm believer, and before he passed, he was actively trying to grow in his faith. He had just bought a new Bible that we called Larry Proof because it was the NLT, which is the New Living Translation, which means that it was impossible for him to mess it up, impossible for him to misunderstand the Word of God. And he was reading, trying his best to get closer to God. He bore the grief of a sinful man. He knew that he was sinful, and that's what made him saved. Because he felt the conviction on his heart of Jesus' love, of knowing that he was called to a higher purpose. And that's what I pray for all of you guys, that you get closer to God and that you look for God in the hard times and in the times that feel impossible and that there are no answers. Knowing that I'll see my brother again one day is the only thing that's gotten me through. And it's only been a few days. And the roller coaster of emotions have been taking me up and down and up and down and up and down. But the most important thing that I always remember is that he would look at me and just be like, what are you worried about? Like, what are you crying about? I'm happy. I'm free. Larry's completely uninhibited by the bonds of sin and by the flesh that holds us in this world. And I know that he's celebrating so hard with all of his loved and lost ones and all of my loved and lost ones. And they're waiting for me up there. Larry lived such a beautiful example of what we should all strive to live for. He was funny, charismatic, caring, loving, kind. I gotta say funny twice because he was really funny.
That's one thing about that man. He was super funny.
Yeah. And he was big in every sense of the word. Big laugh, big personality. He was loud, and he was huge. I was always trying to catch up with Larry's strength, and he left a big hole in my heart when he left, and now he's gone. And I'm never gonna be able to fill that, because I'll never find a brother like Larry again. It's so important for you guys to remember that life is short, and it's not promised. It should almost be a fear instilled in your heart. Not to live in fear, but to have that fear of losing your life. Because it can be gone at any moment. So love your people well. Be kind to everybody. Live more like Jesus. But the bottom line is to love your people well. Larry was a lover. A total lover. He knew how to cater to me as a friend. And what I needed to hear in hard moments. He knew how badly I wanted to be a good person, and I want to be a good person, and he always pushed me towards that, and he never let me stoop below my own standards. He never let me cut corners, and he really pushed me to be the best. So to Larry, thank you for being my brother. Thank you for being my brother. It's the only word I have. Thank you for shaping me into a better man. Thank you for welcoming me into your life with open arms and making me feel so a part of the community that you had. Thank you for being so loving to my family and helping my mom when she needed help and willing to be the first guy to jump on the call when I needed something. You were the best ally that I could have ever hoped for in my early 20s. You shaped me into somebody that wanted the best out of life and somebody who wasn't going to settle. I'm so grateful that I got to be your friend, and I'm so blessed by the fact that you got to be a part of my life for the short time that you were here. So get weird, party hard, and give Jesus a big hug for me. To all you guys at home, grief is such a fucked up thing, and it's so hard and heavy, but you are never alone. Reach out to somebody, get the help that you need when you're going through grief, and remember that grief is not just sadness. You're mourning the loss of the love that you had for somebody while they were alive. So that grief that feels so big and heavy is because you love that person so much. And don't be afraid to cry. I'm so tired of hearing people calling others pussies for crying. God made us with such deep and expressive emotions so that we are able to feel. And when you cry over the loss of somebody, it's not because you're weak. It's because you love that person so much and you're mourning that you're never going to see them again in this world. I know I have a long life and a lot of life ahead of me, and I mourn every morning when I wake up that I'm not going to be able to share that life with Larry anymore. He was 23 years old. We were planning on moving out together. Life changes exponentially fast. So love your people well, and love yourselves. Be there for yourselves and your loved ones. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I needed to do this for Larry. He was too big of a part of my life, too important to me, to not tribute him on my life's work, because my YouTube I consider is my life's work. So thank you for watching. Have a blessed day, night, or evening wherever you're at, gang. Make sure to remember I love you. Make sure to remember Jesus loves you so deeply, so individually, so personally. He wants to grow closer with you. And I know I'll feel Larry in the room with me. When I'm laughing so hard my belly hurts, when I'm mourning the loss of somebody else, Larry's always going to be there in spirit, and I'm never going to let his memory die. So this is a montage of all the things that me and Larry did, all of our memories, and I hope that you guys enjoy. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. I love you, gang.
And you know, I think sometimes our older brothers, they kind of like, they take the speed bumps for us, like as younger brothers, so that we don't have to. My brother went through a lot of stuff so that I didn't have to go through it, and then I get to see him and learn.
My brother's the most important thing to me. Probably more important than anything.
My brother has been really great for me. My brother has been really, man. You know, I don't know where I would be without my brother.